My name is Surapa Suwannachat. I am a student at Surapa School. Today I will talk about Olympic host country impact to city and economy. This information can help you understand about benefits and links of being an Olympic host. I'm going to tell you about 6 things. First, history of an Olympic. Second, how is the host city chosen? Third, benefits. Increase in tourism and get more income. Next, impact to the economy. After that, links, and the last one is example of host city with good and bad results. History of an Olympic. The Olympic Games are an international sport festival that began in ancient Greece as many as 3,000 years ago. The Olympic Games were held every 4 years in Olympia, located in western Peloponnese Peninsula, to honor of the god Zeus. In addition, the Olympic Games are also a place for poets, artists, and playwrights to share their work. The purposes of the Olympic Games were for young men show physical potential and also have some kind of struggle such as wrestling to prove hardiness. The audiences were only men. Women were not allowed to visit. The first modern Olympics were held in Athens, Greece in 1896. There were 280 participants from 13 countries, and there were a total of 43 competitions. The Olympic symbol is 5 interlocking color links. How is the host city chosen? The International Olympic Committee (IOC) is people who check a city and decide if it is convenient for being an Olympic host or not. In 1999, International Olympic Committee have a new two-phase process was presented to decide the host of an Olympic. The reason was cities that were interested to host an Olympic could be determined firstly by the IOC. If they think the city is not ready to hold the Olympic Games, they would not have to spend money that is unnecessary. The first phase of the new process is the applicant city state. Cities that are interested to be the host of an Olympic must prepare an application and send it to the IOC. The board will decide after the application in the next 10 months. The IOC will explore the city on several points. First, the city must be big enough to handle the Olympics when a great number of tourism and athletes will visit this city. Second, the city needs to persuade residents that the expenses of covering the Olympics may be paid by raising taxes. Third, the city needs to sustain a highly positive media exposure. If the IOC determines that a city has the 3 points, the city will go into the second phase of the process. After that, the IOC makes a final decision which is the best city to be the host of an Olympic. Benefits. Hosting an Olympic can increase tourism during the game. People from another country will come to the city to watch sport competitions in the stadium, and they come to support athletes of their country. The whole city gets interest from people all around the world. People saw the page from the broadcast of a sporting event. An example of a city that succeeds at an increase in tourism after the games is Barcelona in 1992. In the 10 years after the game, Barcelona increased tourism by nearly 100%. Hosting an Olympic can increase tourism and also can increase income. The government will earn money from opening visa and selling a ticket. The host country can get income by opening tourism visa, and host city earn income by selling tickets for the Olympic Games. People who want to watch sport competition in stadium must buy a ticket. The host can earn money by selling mascot and clothing. When people come to watch the competition, they may want to buy a souvenir, and some people might even buy dolls for children. People who come from another country come to watch sport competition or to travel must buy food and rent a room for less. Impact to the economy. The benefits of hosting an Olympic can have an impact on economic growth. The benefit of tourism spending around the games can be short-run. It makes economic growth. After being an Olympic host, the trade increased around 30% on average. In addition, even an unsuccessful bid to host the Olympic Games can have a positive impact similar to export. The development of infrastructure can lead to advances in technology and production, which is better for the host city and economy of country. This also impacts the economy. While another jobs are created, for example, the 1992 Olympic Games in Barcelona produced 88.7% of the city decline in unemployment. Rings. The host country will have to spend a lot of money. The money is spent in the form of construction of the country's infrastructure to satisfy the needs of athletes and visitors. The host of an Olympic has to pay money to build a big stadium, and after the Olympic ends, the stadium may not be used again. Moreover, the host of an Olympic has to pay money to build hotels for athletes and visitors. The host of an Olympic has to pay money for security. Sporting events are very important. It has to have higher level for security. It must have policemen take care all the time, due to there can be people agitated during the game. In addition, there is an impact on the life of residents. Many people from another country come, and it makes traffic jams and may cost lacking resources. Sometimes families are losing their house because the government is destroying their house and building things for the Olympics. Example of host city with good and bad results. When hosting an Olympic, not every city will succeed. If city prepare to plan carefully, it has succeeded. An example of a host city with a good result is the Los Angeles Summer Olympic Games in 1984. The board decided the support of private money and offered to supply the games and TV broadcast rights sold out to ABC. After it was decided the city will host the Olympic Games, they managed to build a new stadiums and building to support tourists and spectators. The other example of host city with good result are the Sydney Summer Olympic Games in 2000. The Thornley United Australians 11,000 runners ran past the 750 towns, and the total distance was 27,000 kilometers. The Sydney Games was successful economically and socially. For example, Sydney got the attention of people on the internet before and during the event. The website Australian.com viewers increased 700% during the event. An example of a host city with bad results is the Beijing Olympic Games in 2008. China paid $42 billion for the 2008 Olympic Games. The Games had an impact on normal life of residents. 5 million Beijing residents lost their house because China was destroying their house and building stadiums. Another example of a host city with a bad result is the Athens Olympic Games in 2004. This game spent $5 billion, which was over budget, and they were not building the necessary structures. After the games, tourism had decreased and the country had economic problems. Today, I told you about history of an Olympic. How is the host city chosen? Benefit increase in tourism and get more income. Impact to the economy, risks, and example of host city with good and bad results. Hosting an Olympic can be helpful to the city, such as can get more income and also increase tourism. Examples that were discussed include the effect to the economy, which makes higher economic growth. Also, being an Olympic host also has links. However, everybody is looking forward to watching an Olympic Games, even though it gives us disadvantage. Thank you for paying attention, and I hope this presentation has helped you understand Olympic host country impact to city and economy.